really good prayer for that. So let's start in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Prayer to Saint Joseph. Joseph, by the work of your hands and the sweat of your brow, you supported Jesus and Mary and had the Son of God as your fellow worker. Teach me to work as you did, with patience and perseverance, for God and for those whom God has given me to support. Teach me to see in my fellow workers the Christ who desires to be in them, that I may always be charitable and forbearing towards all. Grant me to look upon work with the eyes of faith, so that I shall recognize it in my share in God's own creative activity and in Christ's work of our redemption. And so we take pride in it. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Well, good morning to everyone. It's great to have you here today. This is a great day for a lot of reasons. The first one is I want you to take a look back real quick. Where were you 5 years ago? 6th grade. 5 years from now, you're applying for a job. Pretty crazy, right? You'll be 22 or 23 years old, would have graduated from college. Maybe even if you're on the 5-year plan for college, you'll be 23, but still, at some point over the next 5 years, you'll be looking for a job. We have some unbelievably amazing alumni here today. Very talented, very successful, and making a difference in the world. And it's a great opportunity for you today to spend some time with them and get your questions asked. Your future employer might be sitting here. It's kind of amazing to think about. And you don't think about it as a junior in high school, and guess what? Most of them weren't thinking about it as a junior in high school, and I certainly wasn't either. But it's pretty amazing the opportunity that you have today. So I want to share a couple stats with you. The next 10 years, there will be 11.9 million new employment opportunities. The average starting salary for a college graduate is $55,260. The average starting salary for a computer engineer is almost $86,000. Chemical engineers are making $72,213 out of college. Computer and information science majors are making $78,000 to start. I share that with you because it's not all about money, but college is important. And one of the other things that's really important for you is to network. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts? Raise your hand if you already have LinkedIn. Guess what? They're going to tell you this today, and I'm going to tell you now, you need to get a LinkedIn account. It's important. Start LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, I have LinkedIn with many of our alums that reach out to me when they're in college. LinkedIn is a great thing for you to start now, and then you can use it throughout the opportunities you'll have in college and then 5 years from now. So get LinkedIn. But I want you to take today very seriously, because not only are these people very talented, but they sat in your seat. They played on that field. They sat in these classrooms, and in many cases, they even had some of these teachers. So we want you to take advantage of today. We believe that most of the jobs that you're going to get are going to come from somebody that you know. So that networking, if it hasn't started for you before today, it should start today. And I don't want you to be scared of the process. We're not kicking you out. You don't have to worry about this for 5 years, but it's going to be proactive is better than reactive. And we have some people here today that are making a huge difference in the world. So let's meet some of them right now, but I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Keene, who will be your MC for the day. Let's make this a great day and take advantage of every opportunity that you have today. Thank you.
Mr. Sulik, our school president, come on. President's Day next month. All right, so we got 3 weeks of President's Day shopping, so get that in. Thanks for coming. I'm Mr. Keene. I do alumni relations. I've subbed for a lot of you, right? Who have I subbed for? 4 of you. Okay, good. That was a good class. That was a good day. Yeah, all right, good job. Maybe it was a different school. I don't know. Okay. Thanks for coming. We're going to do this for about 30 to 45 minutes. Then we're going to break off. They're going to be behind the tables. You can ask them questions. If you're too shy to ask right now, you can ask them in person after this session. From that table, meet and greet session will break off in the classrooms. There's no dumb questions. Don't worry. So yeah, don't be afraid, feel free to approach. We have every category of business covered. My partner, Brandy Lopez in crime. Brandy's right there, yes? Yeah, son JT in your class. I don't want to embarrass him, but where's JT? Where are you, buddy? Okay, there you go. Okay, so give him a round of applause too at some point. But quick, okay, that's enough for him. All right, guys, we don't get right into. Who knows where they're going to college? Perfect. The same four that I subbed for. Okay. Does anybody know what they want to major in? A few of you. Okay, that's like a fifth. Okay, not bad. Don't worry. All right. I majored in psychology and international relations. Most majors, unless it's medicine, we're going to talk about all this. Most majors aren't necessarily the end-all and be-all. So don't worry. There's a lot of different routes you can take. You can transfer if you don't like the college you're in. You can change majors. You can take a year off. Don't tell your parents I said that. You can go to a junior college. There's options. You shouldn't be worried. You should be excited, right? You should be eager, but don't be worried. It's a great journey for you in a year and a half. So today we're going to talk about college and beyond college. Two very small topics, right? Very simple processes. That's a joke. Don't worry about that. So what? We're going to have alumni come up and talk on these mics. It's going to be kind of an open exchange. And how important is a college major? So if anybody wants to talk, when you come up, talk, maybe mention, you don't have to say the year you were in, but you can with your photo here. And you can talk about your college choice and your major choice and your different paths. All right, we're going to talk about a few different things. So if anybody wants to get up and talk, a college major, how important was your major individually, whether it was business, economics, was it in engineering? I find that medicine is the one where you have to know right away. As a lawyer, anybody want to be a lawyer? A couple of you? Yeah, you can major I think you can major in anything, am I right? No? All right, guys, good job. Two different audiences, which is nice. Don't want to work one at a time. How important is a major? Does anybody want to get up and talk about what you majored in specifically, how important it was? No? Okay, yeah, Zach will go. This is Zach, guys. He's your marquee drink dealer. Yeah.
So I was a marketing major, and it was very important in regards to like cracking into the marketing field. But in terms of what I learned, I think there's more to learn outside of school than inside of school in terms of both marketing and personally and professionally. So it's not the end-all be-all, but try to find the right industry, I would say.
Where'd you go to college?
The illustrious Northern Arizona University.
I knew you. Oh, nice. Flagstaff. Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guys. Zach Volpo, guys, right there. All right. So your major was marketing. Did you know in high school what you'd be doing now?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
No, I didn't.
You're the one. Okay. Perfect. Go ahead, Chris.
I want to see my picture.
Much
better looking now. So I was a business major at UCSB, and then I went to Pepperdine for my MBA. And it was very well, going in to get your MBA, it was more or less a refresher for learning everything I did as an undergrad. And then I jumped into being an entrepreneur. So it all tied in, so I thought it was very important for what I did in school to apply to what I do now.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, UCSB. Anybody going to UCSB or living at that school? No, okay. Couple. All right, good. Yeah, I tried it. My dad told me, he's like, you're not going to UCSB. I'm not paying for a 4-year party. And I was like, good, because I didn't get in. So no problem there. You know what I mean? So, just, yeah. Go ahead, yeah, please. Catherine, yes, come on.
I like a short one. I gotta lower this. But hi, I'm Catherine. Oh yeah, there you go, Catherine Young. I knew you'd be right next to me right there. So I was an English and philosophy major. But I went into magazine editing and then public relations, and the one thing that it took me, and it'll take me across, is how to communicate effectively. Full sentences, business responses, especially with texting these days, you want to shorten everything. Being professional in your communication, no matter what industry you're in, will take you very far.
Catherine, yeah, Emma, yeah, you can see her on YouTube. She's got a great following. Yeah, plug it.
Everybody follow me. It's Catherine Emery TV. So I talk about home improvement products, which is random. I wish it was travel and wine and food, but hey, everybody has a home. So
Yeah, we can talk about that. Major, college choice. We can talk about interviews, internships, anything. It's definitely, yeah. This is all wide open.
Hi, Steph Soltis, 97. In terms of the military and aviation, unless you want to be an astronaut, your major is not particularly relevant. I majored in political science at the Air Force Academy and became a pilot. I also worked on Wall Street for a few years, and I have a master's degree in finance. Those two were obviously linked and relevant, but for an awful lot of career fields, it doesn't actually matter. So something that you enjoy, something that you think you can do well at. Most military career fields, however, in aviation, it doesn't matter what you major in, just that you demonstrate that you can apply yourself and get through it.
Yeah, excellent. You should just talk the rest of the time. I think with that resume. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ashley Barlow. I went to Chapman University. I actually started off as a business major. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. I actually kind of struggled with the finance classes, which is interesting because now that is my jam. I'm a senior director of e-commerce, and I have managed everything from about 1.2 billion in annual revenue. So I love numbers. I love budgeting and forecasting, but in college I struggled with that. So I actually changed my major to communications because I really wanted to look for something that was general, that didn't pigeonhole me into something that was going to limit my options when I got out of college, so that I could actually keep my options open to where I wanted to go with my career. So, and where that led me was to digital marketing and e-commerce, and I've been in it for about 25 years. Worked at GoDaddy, Pillow Pets, Thermo Fisher, so in healthcare, and now I just launched a beauty brand with Naomi Watts. So, you know, it's really exciting, and it's probably something that I touch, you know, my friends, people like you, and your parents. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Ashley Barlow, yeah. And yeah, go ahead, please.
That's right next to the microphone. So I am class of 2016. Wow. I do not remember that picture. Class of 2016, so it's only been like 7 years, but I studied political science at UC Berkeley, and I am now a broadcast journalist. So it's not really relevant for me. I think with journalism, the most important thing is that you're getting out there and you're trying internships and you're connecting with people in the region. So if you want to work, I wrote about this, if you want to work in, you know, California or New York or East Coast, West Coast, whatever, I think you should try to focus on a college that is in the region that you want to work in, and then you can build connections that way during school, through internships and things like that, and then get a job in that region afterwards. So I think the major is less important for me, and the most important thing was going to school in California, and then now I'm in San Diego, so I just got to go from NorCal to SoCal.
Hello, I'm Nicole. So everyone has kind of been touching on a little bit how their major was a little bit more open and they could do kind of what they wanted to do with it. Kind of like how he mentioned in healthcare or medicine, it's a little bit more straightforward. So I majored in speech pathology at TCU, and my path has been a little bit more straightforward. You have to have not only a bachelor's but a master's in order to practice, and like with a lot of medicine, you kind of have to do further education after that. So if that's something that you're interested in the medical field, just know it is a little bit more straightforward. Obviously, if it ends up being not what you want to do, you can, you know, be free to do whatever you want after, but if you do want to be in healthcare, it is a little bit more of a straightforward path, and your major is very relevant and kind of does matter. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, TCU, guys. We can send a lot of kids to TCU now. Anybody looking at TCU? Okay, more than that. That's all right. That's all right. This is underway, by the way. We're here now. School started. All right, good. Okay. Go ahead, yes.
All right. Anyway, yeah, TCU bandwagon ended. Georgia ended that pretty quickly. So.
Oh, they live in Georgia. Yeah,
so we're in Atlanta, Georgia now. My name's Brian Finner, and there's my twin brother Brad. He's right here. College kind of picked us. We were probably looking at a junior college. And then athletically, we had opportunities to go to the Naval Academy to play basketball. Or Villanova came knocking for football. So we went to Villanova on a football scholarship. We both majored in business management. We took almost the same classes throughout the 4 years we were there for the most part. So if one of us was hungover, the other would go take notes and take care of business. But we loved it. It was a great environment. Not unlike TCU, where only 6,000 undergraduates and a family kind of Catholic background too. So it was pretty awesome. So as far as the business management degree, for me, it was my major in 4 years. I earned a minor in education as well, in case I wanted to coach or do something. And then I went on, I got pretty fortunate and was able to play football in the NFL for 12 years, 1 with the Eagles and 11 with the Atlanta Falcons. And then parlayed that into a broadcasting career now. So I work on sports talk radio in Atlanta. I've done that for 11 years on 680 The Fan. So for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. I knew if I could get an education and a degree from Villanova, that alumni base would support me and find a job with one of those guys. But I was fortunate, like I said, to go play football. And then the networking part of it, meeting people, putting yourself out there, enabled me to kind of work into the radio business as well. So, and I was terrible at both things, really. Football, I got cut by the Seattle Seahawks. I got cut by the Philadelphia Eagles. I had to go to Europe and play over there. And then radio-wise, after my football career, I mean, you would have never thought I was able to speak into a microphone. We have to do these things called live reads, where companies invest time and money in us, whether it's Aero Exterminators or Atlanta Painting Company or whatever it might be. We have to do live reads for them and talk for 1 minute straight about their company and what they do. And the first time I did, I think it was Aero Exterminators, I was shaking, so nervous. My opinions were terrible, but it's about repetition in everything you guys do. So work on it. The major part of it, obviously, for me, is more about just getting a degree and moving on and meeting people and networking. So work hard at whatever you do, and then you'll be surprised at what comes out of that.
Yeah. Business degrees can apply to so much. Would that mean that most general, it can apply to most, would you guys say? Business can apply to a lot of things. Or guys, just be 6'5" and a phenomenal athlete. So just do that. We need to work on one of those. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh yeah, please, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Vetter, class of 1991. I'm like your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Eagle. I'd like to take a moment of silence for my hairline that I once had. That was it. I forgot to wipe down skirts, but I fell on a little bit of it. Anyways, I come from a long line of law enforcement. My dad spent 37 years with the LA County Sheriff's Department, 39 years total. I have an uncle who is in law enforcement as well as a cousin. I've been on, as of July, it will be 25 years. So I'm like the old guy now, which I don't feel it, but I am. I'm a sergeant up at Mammoth Lakes Police Department currently. As in regards to, I was not the poster child for academics when I was here. I struggled in school. I made it through. My dad encouraged me. He said it is very important that you go on to college, and he was right. I went on to Saddleback College, got my AA degree just in general studies. I transferred to Sonoma State University. And a lot of cops major in criminal justice. My dad gave me some wonderful advice. He said, do not major in criminal justice. He said, you're going to waste 4 years, all that time and money, and what are you going to do with a criminal justice degree? You're going to learn everything you did in 4 years and 6 months in the police academy. He was absolutely right. My major was environmental studies, conservation, and restoration, which kind of throws people being a cop and your typical class or type A personality, which I'm not. He said the reason you want to do something besides criminal justice as a police officer is because there's no guarantee you're going to get through your career. You may get on and decide it's not for you. You may get injured and retire, and you may get fired. And what are you going to do with a criminal justice degree? Absolutely nothing. So I did. I chose something that I could fall back on, something that interests me. All I can tell you, go to college. It's extremely important nowadays, and major in something that you can make a living with. Like President Sulik said, it's not all about the money.
but that's an important factor because you have to be able to survive in this world. So do your best, contribute to society, and just be successful.
Thank you, Joe. Joe better, guys. I can't believe he became a police officer. When he was in high school, he was in my class, we're in the same class, he had a siren in his car. He would pull people over on the way to school.
So, I knew what I wanted to do from the time I was about this big watching my dad. So I knew I was going to be a cop, and I'm very happy I made it there. It's been a challenging career. It's been a very, it's been wonderful. It has its ups and downs, but it's definitely a career that, like my dad used to say, not everyone gets to ride with the possum, and that's very true. But anyways, what Pat was referring to, I used to sneak out on the weekends. My dad was a captain at the time, and he had a detective car, and I used to sneak into his car because I knew where his key was, and I'd take his red Kojak light that you see in the movies. So what we would do is we'd know of a good party, and Tim Tubman and I and Brian Knott, my two counterparts, the Three Musketeers, we would come pull around the corner and hit that red light and flip it, and I kid you not, you'd see beers and cigarettes flying, and then everyone would realize it was just Vedder, Tubman, and Knott, and we had a great time spirit.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I should have introduced my wife, Erin. Graduated with me here. Yeah. So she,
Aaron, yeah.
I don't know if you want to say something. It's a long story. We can tell you over here somewhere. But she's the school nurse at Notre Dame Academy, where our kids went to private Catholic school, and she's doing a great job running that. And had to deal with COVID and all that stuff. So if you do get a chance, I don't know if you want to say something to pick her brain about it. You're up.
My job is definitely not all about money. But it is really fun, and we have 4 children, 2 grand boys that are amazing. So I kind of went backdoor in the last few years, and I do love it. I love being with the kids, I love taking care of everybody, and yeah, but you find something. I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. I actually was going to go to University of Arizona, but then I went to Saddleback, and I was an EMT and a paramedic and did that kind of route, and then raised my children, and then now I'm back doing what I was always meant to do. But I definitely, if you'll find something you love and enjoy, that's, I think, the most important thing. And you do need to take care of yourself. But my job's definitely not about money. I'm a paid volunteer.
Amazing. With cross country and track, when you were here, cross country.
State champion.
1993 first state championship for Santa Monica.
Right there.
There he is. So I was really nerdy in high school. So Eagle TV, anybody in ETV? No? Okay, cool. What about marching band? Anybody in marching band? Okay. So I was the president of Eagle TV and the president of the marching band. But I'd like to believe that now. But it actually kind of turned into a career. I just knew that the people that I would meet and the interests are the 2 things that I would like to stress with you guys. Because the people that I met in Eagle TV I still stay in contact with, and a lot of the routine and stuff that I learned by managing my time, managing different activities, and just keeping time balance between sports, school, maintaining my awesome B average. I went to Chapman University. I studied film and a minor in business. I ended up dropping out because the job picked me up. It's funny because my major in screenwriting and entertainment production and my minor in business just kind of weaved through. It was like a dotted line all the way through. I worked summers. I was working as an entertainment lighting technician and met the guy that I work for now. And we stayed in touch throughout the whole time, but then the winter time, I was working at a healthcare company. And so I became an expert in medical claims processing. And so I got whisked away in this business job. I moved to Tennessee, and it was very, very corporate. I ended up getting 9 weeks of vacation a year, and so I would spend my vacation coming back to California, and we would produce shows like Coachella and all the fun stuff. And so I really enjoyed what I was doing in healthcare. I liked helping people. I liked making the money, but I liked helping people. Helping people do things that they could not do on their own. See somebody without legs rolling into a bank was really important to me. And I felt like helping them find coverage for that benefit was important. So then, all of a sudden, I get getting asked by the guy that I work for now at Felix Lighting, hey, when are you guys going to come, when are you going to come work with us? I really could use some help. I was really happy with what I was doing. And the company that I was working for, I grew tired of it. Does anybody know Edward Snowden, that guy that sold our national security secrets? Okay, so everything was cool with the company I was working for until they brought this CEO in. And this guy was the CEO of the company that was responsible for Edward Snowden's background checks. And they were basically got rubber stamping background security checks for security clearance. And I didn't want to work for this guy. And so I ended up getting a phone call from my current boss now saying, hey, when do you come work with us? So now I work full-time in entertainment concert lighting. And along the way, I went back to school. And so this is my message now. I regret dropping out of school. I had to learn how to divide fractions again when I was 30. And that was pretty much the most challenging thing I ever had to do. But I got through it. So the message here is that if you just stay active in your interests, that you can't go wrong. Right now I love my job every day, and we do cool stuff, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the breakout session.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, stay active in your interests. What a great message to walk away with. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback a little bit on both of what was just said. I'm Heather. I have a little bit of a different path because I chose to go for the financial security when I was in college, and I went into the business and communications route, and then into broadcasting, sports broadcasting. Not a ton of money, but more money than what I do now. I went back to school, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to step up and speak. You can make a decision, you can go a certain direction, but you can change your mind. Like he had changed his career. You can go, you're not stuck with whatever you choose. You can change your major while you're in school. You can change it after you're done. My sister went to UCLA for theater, film, and television, and she works as an director of HR for a company. You don't know what you're going to do. The education, the experiences that you're going to have are what are going to define your life too. You also need to go and do something that you love and enjoy to learn. Something that's going to make you go to school, make you show up every day and actually enjoy the time that you're there and not just dread every class that you go to. So study something that you like. I went back and I became a teacher because I knew that I needed to do something that fulfilled my soul, not just my pocketbook, because it does not. But I needed to do something that was rewarding and fulfilling for my life, and you can change your mind. So I just wanted to
Great, yeah, you can very much.
Hey guys, how are you? I just want to shout out to my son Liam. I see you lighting. Back row, left side. So I know a lot of you kids just through Liam, and first of all, the thing I will tell you is you guys are off to such a huge head start over every high school kid in America. Just by coming here, you guys should just relax a little bit. You have such phenomenal advantages by being in Santa Barbara because you're surrounded by a group of kids who are all going places. Every one of you kids is going to do great. So just make sure you relax about college and career. You're going to do far better than you could ever imagine. That's like the most important. Second thing I would tell you is just we talk about majors, right? Is like I went to college at Notre Dame. I was a pre-med major, and I just got slaughtered. Like chemistry, I was competing against kids they were spending like 40 hours a week studying for their chem tests. I immediately dropped in, and I decided I was going to go do pre-law. I went in and did the program where when I graduated, the books that we read, not one single book was written in the past 50 years. They were all between 2000 And, you know, like, there were thousands of years old. It was called the Great Books Program at Notre Dame. Today I do computer software. I do data science, right? So I'm working in AI, we're working with big data, cars someone gonna buy, you know, which football team is gonna win in a football game, those kind of projects, right? So I do nothing at all related to what I went to college for. And I think that the cool thing that I learned about like Santa Margarita and college was just how to think. You know, when you sit in that English class and your teacher gives you that critical, that critical essay that you have to go out and write, those skills are enormously valuable and will allow you to move into learning new things at a really high level. So the foundation you're getting here, guys, allows you to kind of jump into different things that you don't necessarily go to college for, right? So you're going to be super successful. Don't kill yourself over your major. If you don't pick the right major, you can. I did a financial path. I went to venture capital after college, and then I went and did the CFA exam, where you learn intense finance. I did that for 3 years. So it gave me the foundation I needed. I got it after college, and that powered me through in software and business. So don't stress. You guys have a huge head start. You're going to be great.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Bill Rainey, father of Liam, in the back row. Thanks.
Hi guys, so after Santa Margarita, I went to UC Irvine. I got in and started off in bio because I wanted to be a dentist. And I remember the dean, the first day of school, said, look to your left, look to your right. Only one of you guys is going to graduate from the school bio. And he was right, and I was one of the victims of organic chemistry. I just could not make it through OChem. So I pivoted and went into cognitive science and graduated with a degree in cognitive science from UCI. But I just want to speak to like the emotional impact of your path not going the way you think it's going to go. Just be open and trust in the Lord, because if it's not going that way, there's a reason, and you're going to be okay. I ended up not getting into dental school after a million prayers asking God to just make it happen. And today I am so glad I'm not a dentist. I'm not cut out to be working with a drill in an office. I work from home in my pajamas every day. It's great, and I make as much money as they do, and it's good. So there's so many other paths available to you that you don't even know exist when you're in tunnel vision trying to get to where you're at. So if you get derailed, you will be okay. Trust in the Lord. Pray. A lot of this has to do with where you're meant to be and what vocation you're supposed to be in the lives that you're going to touch later. Also want to speak to the women in the room. It's kind of unspoken about, but if you want to be a mom and you want to be a wife, take that into consideration too. I think that people don't really talk about it because it's taboo and everyone's trying to be equal and all of that, but the reality of the fact is that if you want to be a mom, think about how many hours a day you want to see your kids. If it's cool with you to come home at 7 p.m., cool. There's no right or wrong here. But think about your mom, think about the other women in your life, and try to figure out what your adult life should be what career or what kind of life that you want to support your family life. Because family is always number one, not career, okay? I know it's unpopular to say that, but I'm gonna say it. So think about that. If I had been a dentist, I don't know that I could have been the kind of mom that I wanted to be and that I am today. So I'm going to say the unpopular thing there, but it's a fact. So, yep, thank you.
Oh yeah, please, really quick.
I wanted to piggyback up on that. COVID has really empowered women and moms to be career focused and be moms. Don't ever apologize for being a mom and being a kick-ass career woman. Being able to be remote, I've led teams, I am able to be a mom. My family comes first, and I'm able to be, grow my career. I make a great living. I'm able to support my family, continue to grow in the corporate ladder, everything. But I leave and I don't ever miss a game for my son. I pick him up from school. My husband and I tag team, and I never apologize to my work that I have to go get my son. That is my number1 priority, and I never should have to, because I do a great job, and what we're passing on to you is that you can have it all, and you don't have to kill yourself to do it. You can be an awesome parent and be able to have an awesome career, and you don't have to sacrifice either one of them. So I just wanted to, that's something I pride myself on, and I'm so glad you said something about that too. And I think the world is changing, that I'm able to work from home and be both. Have food on the table for my family, make dinner, we have dinner as a family, and wear both hats and not killing myself.
Yeah, great.
I do want to say, my son was 10, and I said, what should I tell them? He said, you should tell them you're a momtrepreneur. Was that a word, right? I'm a momtrepreneur, because I'm a business owner and a mom. So anyway, I'll give it over to my classmate, Robert.
Hey guys, I'm Robert Nolan. I used to go by Bobby, so it's great to see a bunch of old friends here calling me by my old name. Oh, come on. I think I have hairspray on in that picture. That's terrible. I played basketball here. I played with Brian and Brad. We didn't have any of those things on the wall when I was here. I think one of the things I'd like to say, I went to Boston College after here, and I wasn't much of an academic. My experience in college was more extracurricular. There's a program at BC called the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, or the Ignacio Volunteers. I had the opportunity to go down to Belize, and I fell in love with traveling. After that, I went into the Peace Corps in Zimbabwe in Africa. And actually, someone said how lucky you are to be here. I think it was Bill. I've traveled all over the world. I taught in a school that had no running water, no electricity. Girls are dropping out of school because they need to go home and take care of their families and do the chores. So I don't think I've ever seen a school that gives as much opportunity as you guys are getting here. You guys can do anything. I mean, look at these people. It's amazing. They've done so many different things. This is going to be you guys in 30 years. Hopefully you don't have hairspray in your picture. Brandy was like, if you have a PowerPoint, present it. I was reading it this morning. So I actually just jotted a few things down, some career advice for you guys that I thought would be interesting. Nope. Oh, I was an athlete. I encourage all of you to do something besides sports. This is a great school for sports, obviously. I played basketball. Brian didn't steal my position. Brad didn't steal my position, luckily. So think about it. Do something different. Learn an instrument. Learn a language. That's the other thing I was going to recommend. Learn a language if you want to travel. That'll make you so much more employable. Learn how to speak in public. It's hard. Brian was talking about jumping on a podcast. No matter what you do, you're going to have to present. Kathy's a television personality. She's awesome at it. Critical skill. Get out. Leave Orange County. Go up north. Go to another state. Go overseas. Orange County is a small world. It's a bubble. And you guys are lucky to be here. Some of the most privileged people in the world. Let's see, I can't see. Let's see. Ask for help along the way. Don't be scared. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself. But that said, have confidence in yourself. Be brave. Push yourself. Get outside of your comfort zone. That's how you learn. And people talk about, you have to fail to be successful. And it's true. I might say it differently. I might say, go for it. Go for whatever it is that you love. And don't be afraid. And then finally, someone mentioned this too. Trust in God. Keep your faith. Keep your spiritual growth going. If it's not like a Catholic traditional faith that you have, maybe it's just a spiritual path that you're on, use that. Because when you're not doing so well, it's something that you can turn to. And so yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to Principal Sulik and Mr. Keene here. These are all folks that I went to school with. So I know we're running short on time, so thanks a lot.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew. I graduated, that picture so bad, 2016. So today we've been talking about,
picking your college major and the process that goes into that. And something that I think I'd like to highlight is that, there seems to be two train of thoughts when you pick your major: is what's going to make me the most money and what's going to make me happy. And I personally feel, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate, is that these things are more correlated than we like to think. So for me personally, I went to University of Arizona. I was studying business management as well as pre-law, and towards the end of my undergrad, I found myself studying for the LSAT 8 hours a day for 5 months straight. I was interning at a law firm at the time, took the LSAT, and I scored a 174. It's out of 180, so it's a good score. But I remember my feeling being, as soon as I got my score back, was, oh shoot, now I got to go to law school. And it took speaking to a variety of lawyers, and no shade to any attorneys here today, I respect it's a lot of work, but and this was a consensus, I'm talking about lawyers, contract law, tax law, variety from firms all across the country, was the first thing they always spoke about was 60 hours a week, 300K in debt, divorce rates, etc. And while a lot of people can manage that, I come from a family of divorced parents, and a big thing for me is I want to be a father one day. Knowing that I'd be gone, 60 to 80 hours a week was something I had to realize that A, I wouldn't be great at if I'm competing with people who love this more than I do, and B, it's not for everyone, right? And being at SM, it's such a competitive environment. I'm sure a lot of you feel a lot of pressure to succeed, and that's a good pressure. But understanding your skills, and excuse my voice, I'm a little under the weather, so hopefully it doesn't crack. But if really understanding what you're good at, what you're not, and being able to be honest with yourself at that early age of 18, 19, 20, I think would save you a lot of struggles as you continue to progress in your career. So yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Excellent points. Go ahead, guys. Yeah, please.
So diversity and having a degree that gives you latitude is important. Look at that hair. I miss it so much. So I was an English major. I thought I was going to go to law school as well, and shifted into commercial real estate. After Loyola Marymount, I went on to get a master's at USC in real estate. But the diversity of the English degree allowed me to get into business. It allowed me to communicate with people, as someone mentioned over here earlier, verbally, written, etc. So if you don't know specifically what you want to major in, pick something that is diverse. Pick something that gives you latitude to do a whole lot of different things.
Well said, yeah, thank you, John. We'll do this for a few more minutes, we'll take some questions, and then we'll break into the next segment. Go ahead, Eric Brown, guys, class of 96.
Yeah, hi, Eric Brown. As Pat said, I graduated here in 96, had a wonderful experience. I think tagging on a little bit to what Bill said, I graduated and sort of made a last-second decision to go to school in Texas at Baylor University. I majored in finance there. I knew I wanted to get into business, and I'm now working in commercial real estate. I think, that the finance degree did lend itself to getting, I started in banking, and it was a natural transition into real estate. But what I want to impress upon you all is that, I went to school in Texas, and I've been back here in Southern California for almost 20 years. So, I don't really do as good a job as I'd like to in kind of leveraging and keeping in touch with a lot of my friends from college. But there are so many people that I run into on a weekly basis through work or otherwise that went to Santa Margarita, and you guys are in such a special place, and there's so many people here next to you who are going to be doing great things, people who were here before you who, I love meeting Santa Margarita graduates, much younger, and hearing about their experiences. So I'd say, while you're here, make sure you invest in the relationships and opportunities you have to get to know your classmates, younger, older. It'll really pay off in the long run. And I think you'll find if you're here locally in Orange County in the future that being an alumni from Santa Margarita will serve you really well. So.
Thanks, yeah, well said, Eric. Met his wife here, guys. Eric Brown and his wife both went here. Huh? What was that first date like? Can you come back up and talk about the first? Just kidding, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kim Carney, class of 2001. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Eric said. I've never met anyone else, aside from alumni from Santa Margarita, that have such pride and love in their school. So I feel so honored to have gone here, and I hope all of you do as well. A lot of us are raising our kids together. We didn't even know each other in high school, but we've all reconnected. So I just want to touch a little bit on networking. I'm a real estate agent on one of the top teams in the country. We sell real estate anywhere from 500,000 all the way up to 100 million. So I feel very blessed to be on this team, and I did it all through networking. Not just in my community, but with the kids I went to Santa Margarita with. Now we're all working together, selling homes for them or with them, involved in business decisions together. So it is really important to know the person next to you, hold on to those relationships. I also graduated from USC in 2005 with a degree in international relations and business, which had nothing to do with what I'm doing today. I love the sales world. I love talking with people and helping people. So I would say that the experiences are what's most important, and also the people around you are really valuable to your future.
Excellent. Thank you, Kim, so much. Go ahead, bro.
Hi, everyone. My name's Brooke Reed. I want to piggyback off of what was just said about networking. I went to the University of Kansas to study aerospace engineering, and that's usually not the school people think of when they think of aerospace engineering. When I say Kansas, they usually think, basketball. Good reason. But essentially, when you're in engineering, and just with other majors as well, your first job out of college most likely will come from an internship. So a lot of you are probably wondering too, how do I get that internship? Well, at a lot of schools, there's a huge alumni base. A lot of times there are advisory boards for your specific major. My very first internship, and my second, and then my first job out of college came from those alumni advisory boards. My first internship was actually, surprisingly, back here in Irvine, California. So even though I was all the way in Lawrence, Kansas, I somehow ended up back here my very first time. So make sure you start networking early. Make sure you start getting to know alum here in college. And you don't necessarily have to go to a big, engineering school. You could go to a big sports school that's still going to have a really awesome alumni database for you to network and help get you that first job out of college and that first internship.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, bro. Excellent. We'll do one more, and then we'll take some questions, and then we'll break. Okay.
Hi, my name is Alan. I was in the class of 98. I'm a physician. I've been practicing for about 14 years. My primary area of focus is geriatrics and urgent care. And I was not a good student at all when I was here. In fact, I think I even failed the class. I had to take summer school. I just wasn't mature enough yet. Went to Saddleback, started focusing more, grew up, but it was still a struggle. I still had to work extremely hard. My wife, who I met in medical school, she can go to class, listen to the teacher, absorb 80 to 90% of what she hears. I'm the exact opposite. I'm not built that way. I need to work really hard. So no matter what field you choose, no matter what career path you take, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, there will be failures. I had them, but it's more about how you learn from those mistakes and take advantage of every opportunity you have, because there's plenty of people that help me along the way. And lastly, I have students from UCI, USC, UCLA that shadow me in urgent care, and I tell them, you don't need to be brilliant, you don't need to have photographic memory to be a physician. You just got to put the work in and repeat over and over again, and you'll be fine. Thanks.
That's incredible, Alan. Thank you. Yeah, you heard from how to do summer school. Right? So, no one route. There's no one route. There's no one journey. All right? Good. Questions? Anybody feel inclined? Everything was answered, yeah? You have no questions moving forward. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, question.
So does going to a well-known school help you come to getting a job?
No. It didn't matter for me. It's just about like who you are and what you learn. Everyone introduced themselves and said like what they do and stuff. I just answered the question.
Yeah, do what you want. Make it your own. Guys.
So
it's the same message to the kids.
My name's Zach. I'm the head of marketing and brand strategy at Marquee. Has anyone consumed that drink before? It's pretty good, right? Good stuff. Well, thanks for supporting. But yeah, I went to Northern Arizona. I wasn't a big school guy. Hung out a lot with Ace after school, unfortunately. I just knew that if I got a degree, I'd find my way and figure it out afterwards, and sure enough it did. So went and worked with Pepsi to start my career in Sedona, Arizona. Had some really good success there. Got posted out to LA, help up-and-coming burger franchise as their director of marketing. And then Marquee hit me up and had a really cool product, and I said I can make it cooler. And that's what we did. So
yeah, it is a good product.
It's pretty good.
New flavors coming out this year?
New flavors coming. Hey, thanks for teaming me up with that. Ask me if we're on Instagram.
Are you guys on Instagram?
As a matter of fact, we are. You can follow us at Drink Marquee, at Drink Marquee. The S is silent, so don't let it throw you off. Shoot us a DM. Say how good Zach did today, and the team will get a kick out of it. And I've got a bunch of the new flavor with me. I saw I'm an entrepreneur on my little name tag. Good looks, thank you.
We need a word to describe it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Go wherever you get in. How about that?
And Marquee is French. Is that a French word, Zach?
I love you. It's French. Yeah, it's French.
Now Bobby's moving to France.
Yeah, our whole thing is about
networking,
right?
Within the networking. Yeah, go ahead.
Embrace your crown.
Embrace. Oh, that's
and drink Marquee.
Perfect.
Right? Perfect. Any other questions?
No, that's good. We're going to cut the commercial in a minute here, but first we're going to go to Nick.
Here, Nick Burns, class of '95. I don't really have a marketing pitch per se. As far as does college matter, I think to some degree it does, unfortunately. Whether you want to go to law school or investment banking, but in my career in investment management, personally, when I look to hire, I do not care at all where you went to school or what your grades were. I'm looking for passion, I'm looking for drive, most of all I'm looking for curiosity and willingness to learn. And as long as you guys have those qualities, which it seems like you do, you're already here and willing to learn, I think you are one step ahead of the competition. So just stay focused and stay curious, and good things will happen.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent words. Yeah, please.
Hello. Hi, I'm Nisha. I was class of 2016. This is a little more specific to STEM, but in answer to your question, no, it doesn't matter which school you go to. What matters is the knowledge that you have in order to do the job you want to do. So this is probably a unique perspective coming from me because I went to Georgia Tech, which is a very well-known school for engineering, but in my job right now, I work with people who went to community college, who honestly didn't even get a college degree and spent a lot of time learning the trade, learning engineering by being a mechanic or working in the Army, etc. So if you have the knowledge for the job that you want to do, that's what matters the most. And yes, a college degree can get you there, but when it comes down to the name of the school on the paper, that doesn't matter. It's the classes you took and what you learned from them.
That's excellent. Can you tell them where you work?
Yes, I work for Disney as a ride engineer. I build the roller coasters and all of the rides at the theme parks for Disney parks in the world.
Wow. Pretty cool job. Guys, any more questions? Okay, I think we're getting over process. Okay. Let's break off into these individual sessions. Thank you so much. Quick round of applause for all of them. And you'll be able to talk to them one-on-one here as they go to their booths, guys, and their tables. We'll do this for about a half an hour, so don't be shy. You can.